So, yeah, thanks for being willing to continue and do another interview with me, Pat. I appreciate that. And yesterday, I debuted some of my content on Steemit for the first time. I've actually had a Steemit account for a little while, but decided to start posting content to it finally. And seems to be going pretty well, and the community seems to be pretty happy that I'm making my content available on that social media platform. Plan on bringing all of my videos to Steemit, all my presentations that I've delivered thus far, and any new content that I do, I'll definitely be uploading there from now on. And I just wanted to let people know about another project that I have hinted at and that I want to get up off the ground, and let them know what the status of that is, because I've been planning on coming back on the air with What on Earth is Happening since I've moved to my new location and got a nice working environment set up here. However, there are still some technical snags with the process. While we've made a lot of progress, and I'm going to show you some of that today, I've needed some technical help, and I've asked for it and not received it. I have received some of the help that I require, but without receiving a little bit more assistance in-house, the show is going to be on indefinite hold. It's going to be on hold indefinitely, and I'm not going to be able to go live with it as it stands right now. And that's very unfortunate. And I'm going to show people what I have so far, tell them what the situation is, and then express some of my frustration that I yet do not have the assistance that I'm going to require to launch this new format, and tell people why I don't think that's really acceptable. What I am doing in-house is going to be basically converting my own bedroom into a makeshift television studio to deliver a live broadcast show that I'm going to pick a platform to deliver it on live. I'm kicking around different options, but Vimeo Live looks like a pretty decent broadcasting option, and I'll be embedding the live show within my own website as well. So that's probably how it's going to launch, if it does launch. And I'm going to pick up, like, you know, where I left off. It's going to be What on Earth is Happening, episode 197, except it's going to be a video show instead of just a radio show, instead of just an audio show. So I have built an interface in a video engine, a piece of software that acts as a multi-layered video engine where you can layer, you know, graphics, motion graphics, video, etc. And you could bring in different video sources into this software. That is what I needed, an in-house producer to basically act as the switcher. So if I want my guest on screen, he would switch to that layer. If I want my slideshow on screen, he's going to switch to that layer. So I have a gentleman by the name of Mike. I'm not going to mention his last name right now. I don't know if he wants me to, but he's going to act as my producer, and he is doing an excellent job, and his help is so valued. He is really talented. And it looks like it's going to work out really well with him producing the show in behind the scenes, because clearly, when you see how this is set up, I cannot sit at the desk with my microphone, deliver the show, talk about the content that I want to talk about, have slides, refer to slides, and run an entire video software switching board simultaneously. It would look horrifically awkward. Okay, I'm trying to do something with a little bit more polished production values. And if I go on the air with, let's say the computer I want to deliver my slides from, or the computer that I'm going to actually use the video switching software, and constantly tell people, hold on, I need to adjust a setting in this software, how awkward would that look, and how much would it interrupt the workflow of what I'm trying to show people? Okay, so no television host sits at their desk, goes on the air live, the cameras go on, and the news anchor, so to speak, is delivering the content, And then he says, hold on, folks, I need to make an adjustment in my software here. It's not done that way, okay? You need a person in-house sitting next to you running those settings, running that software. So that component I have, okay? I also needed, and do not have yet, a setup crew, an in-house setup crew, meaning at my location, to come here one day a week when the show is going to be delivered, okay, when the show is going to be broadcast, and before the show is broadcast, to come and set up all the equipment. So I want to let people know we've done a couple of dry runs, and for me and my producer to set up everything that we need to get the show actually started and broadcasting on the internet live is about a 3-hour process of setup, from the bedroom being a bedroom to converting the bedroom into a makeshift television studio, setting up all the equipment, getting all the connections right, and getting the lighting right, and getting the software, recording correctly. That's approximately a 3-hour pre-setup time. Unfortunately, I live in, and people will say, why don't you just leave your equipment set up, Mark? Because I live in a very cramped half row home in South Philadelphia. The house that I'm in right now is a half house. It is, if you take a standard row home, like a standard row home in New York City or Philadelphia, and you cut it in half from front to back, that's the space that I live in. I don't even live in a full row home. This house used to be extended out in this direction. This is the back wall of the house right now, and there used to be, and if you go to the front wall of the house at the front of the bedroom, there used to be twice that area. And a long time ago, the extension of this house was knocked down, and this wall was set up, this partition wall was set up as the back of the house. So, and that was done because the person that lived in this house wanted a huge backyard. So there's a nice backyard with a tree, a couple of trees out there, and some soil and land, but that takes away from the actual space of the house. If I did have access to a studio, that would be wonderful, but I don't right now. So I am making do with the limited, cramped space that I have and that I live in, okay? To broadcast out of my home, this is what's going to be involved, okay? So unless someone steps up with a television production studio in Philadelphia and says, Mark, you can come here once a week and broadcast your show out of here and leave all the equipment set up and it will be secure and it won't be stolen. Unless that situation presents itself, this is what's going to have to be done to get this show up off the ground. So what I want to show you what we've done, and clearly this isn't the be-all and end-all of what we're going to do and what's possible. This is just a very quick clip that we recorded just to show the interface, okay? This is going to be the new What on Earth is Happening television series, or, internet TV show, whatever you want to call it, live video show, okay? And I'll be here as the host, and then we have an interface set up where in this window I could project anything. I could broadcast anything that I want. So right now it's just my One Great Work logo, but in this window I could have a live guest. We could bring them in through Skype or another video call program, okay? Or I can have my screen projected from the laptop that's on my desk, okay? And essentially, I can show people my web browser. I could take them to different sites that I visit. I could show them videos that I want them to see. I could have my presentation software in this window. And I could give presentations with full transitions like I do in my videos, in my video presentations, where it's not like just telling people go to a website and click an image and having to say, click on image number 5 now, okay? In real time, you're going to see what I want you to see on the screen. I can project any image that I want up there, okay? So it's going to be very polished. It's going to be professional looking. I set up this entire interface. I designed it and set it up. And I finally have a producer who is going to be able to switch between those modes while I deliver the actual audio of the show, the audio content of the show. What I still lack are people to come in and help set up. And the reason that I need this is because you have to understand that a producer and a host for a show are not going to be at their mental best, and they're not going to be mentally sharp and mentally fresh when they sit down and begin the show if we go through the laborious process of setting up all this technology before having to actually deliver a broadcast. I don't want to have to sit down I don't want to have to work for 3 hours before I then go to work for an additional 3-hour show, okay? I need to center myself before a broadcast, okay? As any host should, all right? I need to get my content together. I have to know what I'm going to be talking about and discussing and working on as far as images go that I want to present to people, or videos that I want to present to people and talk about. I have to get my notes together, okay? Mentally prepare myself. I need to meditate a little bit and get myself centered and focused on what I want to accomplish. I can't be setting up technology for 3 hours myself, nor should I have to foist that responsibility or duty onto my producer. My producer has a job. He is there to produce the show. He is there to act as the person who sees that what I want to have seen on the screen is there properly. And that's his job. His job should be to produce the show. My job should be to act as the host for the show and deliver the content. Okay? What I need is at least a 2-person crew, ideally a 3-person crew, but at least a 2-person crew to come and physically, that knows video and audio technology well enough to be able to set up and prepare the space so that I can come in when the space is prepared, sit at my desk and deliver the show, and my producer can come in when the space is prepared, sit at his desk and produce the show. And I have been asking for help in this region of the country, in this area of the United States, in Philadelphia, for 2 years now. 2 years in various ways I have been asking for assistance. And when I spoke at the Truth Mind Reality Conference, I told people tentatively that some help was presenting itself, and that if it continued along that pace, I would probably be able to start delivering a new show in the fall. I'm very despondent to have to tell people that's probably not going to happen, because I got an amount of help that is very good. I in no way want to make the people who are coming forward despondent about helping me, because they're great. They're totally on point, and I couldn't ask for anybody better doing what I've gotten help to do thus far. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to actually take the show live on the air in the way that I want to do. So we're still at a standstill. After 2 years of practically begging on my knees for people to come and help me in my home, okay? On my terms in my home, meaning the show's going to be a certain day, it's going to be a certain time, you would have to come in at a certain time, it's a part-time job for one day is what it really is, okay? It's like 4 hours of your time essentially to make sure everything is working right, 3 hours before the show essentially. Maybe if, it gets streamlined, we could take it down to 2 hours or even an hour, and when they get, accustomed to doing it and it becomes second nature. But right now, I do not have volunteers for that purpose. We may possibly, if we can, get funding for this, may be able to get some people some compensation. But right now, I don't have anybody who's even interested in the job locally. Okay? And it has to be local. It cannot, obviously you cannot set up equipment in my house remotely. So people who write to me and say, Mark, I want to help you, but I live in Hawaii, please don't bother. It's not, you have to understand this is an in-house job to set up equipment in my in-house studio. I don't know how much clearer I can make that this work cannot be done remotely. And now that maybe people see what I am trying to do, I've given them a little bit of a glimpse in what's going to be coming if I get the help that I need. If I do not get the help that I need, if I do not get the response and get people locally here who are willing to come and help me one day a week to get this show on the air, the show is indefinitely postponed and not going to be broadcast. I am ready and have been ready to continue this show for quite a while. And I have so much content, it would take me probably at least 5 years or more to deliver the content that I have in the wings, like just waiting on hold to deliver. That's how much content and presentation material I have to deliver on this live show format. Okay? None of that's going to get out there, or it's going to get out only in live presentations that I deliver over a much longer period of time, if at all, unless I get this format up and running. Because I could take What on Earth is Happening to the next level with a live broadcast show, only if I have the assistance that I need 1 day a week. It is 1 day a week that someone would have to sacrifice to help me get this done. Okay? And down the line, maybe we can somehow get this funded to talk about compensating them. But right now, it would probably have to be on a volunteer basis. Okay? So if you're interested and you have the skills, it's basic technology setup. Setting up cameras, setting up microphones, making sure that lighting is right, making sure that positioning of cameras and framing is right. This is basic AV stuff. This is stuff that, people who go into an AV school, or an art school, this is like class 101. There's nothing complicated that you need to be doing here. I'm not asking for a technical genius. I'm asking for people who know the basics of how to set up AV equipment. Okay? So if you're interested and you live in the Philadelphia region and you can be at my location in Philadelphia 1 day a week, please get in touch with me. Okay? Get in touch with me through my website or my email address. You can email mark@whatonearthishappening.com. Okay? Get in touch with me and, or Facebook me. It's just type Mark Passio in the Facebook search and, you'll see my logo. Facebook message me. That is where the situation with the new show format stands. And I'm ready, and I've been ready to deliver new content, but it's going to be up to the community, okay, as to whether that actually manifests. And I blew up when I was on Ivan Oiola's show, Guy Next Door Speaks, about the situation of not having any help at that point. I've gotten some of the help that I need, but I have not gotten enough of the help that I need in order to actually take the show live. And I just personally, I want to say, once again, to reiterate, the help that I have gotten is top notch. Okay? Unfortunately, I need a little bit more help with this job of setting up equipment. Okay? I don't think that it is reasonable for someone who has done what they have done for the past 11 years to beg for help for 2 years and still not have it and still not be able to take this show back live the way I want to do it with the higher production values in the video format. For people who claim, for a community that claims to be quote unquote awake, quote unquote aware, okay? It shows that they only pay lip service to that dynamic. And when it comes to putting the boots on the ground and actually doing some work, they don't show up. And you know what that means? That means that we are going to continuously have our ass kicked in the spiritual battle that we are in because we don't have the collective will to get done what actually needs to get done. Now, if there were 10,000 or a million other people, 100,000, a million other people doing this at the level that I do it, I could kick back and go, we're in good hands. And they got this. And I don't need to actively be involved. But like I said in the last interview that we did, a perspective like mine is sorely lacking in this community. And the other people that are doing this, some of them are doing a great job, but the vast majority of people looking at the world dynamics are not even looking nearly at what the solution is at all. They're not looking at any aspect of it. They're not talking about consciousness. They're not talking about mind control. They're not talking about the occult. They are trying to put bandages on self-inflicted wounds by only talking about the political and financial dynamics of what is happening. And you will never solve the problem from that level of awareness, ever. Cannot be done by law, by natural law. It cannot be done at that level of awareness. All you can do is describe the prison, from that level of awareness. You will never turn the prison into an actual state of freedom. And the amount of people that I see really doing the work at that higher level is negligible. It is a handful of human beings throughout the world. So since that hasn't manifested, I need to get back onto the battlefield with a new format for my show, and I need the help to do that since other people aren't doing it at that level. Okay? That's how I see it, and that's what I want to explain to my potential viewing audience and give them this little glimpse behind the scenes of where this project stands. So as it stands, if I get the help that I need, the show can go live. If I don't, it will be indefinitely postponed and it will be indefinitely on hold. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to lay that out and put that on video and get it out there to people, and we'll see what happens. So thank you, Pat.
So what do you think about the Steemit conference in Europe?
Well, I'm just hearing about this. This is something that you were making me aware of, and I am definitely interested in cryptocurrency. I take donations in cryptocurrency. I have a little bit put away for my own use and my own needs, and I think that it's something that I would definitely like to pursue and even bring the message of natural law to the people in that community. So, and also talk about what's really going on at the highest levels of power and how this is an occult hierarchy. That we aren't living in a banker-controlled world. We're living in a occult priest class controlled world, and I think many people in that community don't yet understand that. With that, the world is not just an oligarchy; it's an occultocracy ruled by the occult, and that's something that people just have to really delve deeper into to understand how that dynamic really works. Many people in that community are only talking about money and making money practically for money's sake, and that's part of the problem. It is not people not contributing actual value to other people's minds, the elevation of their mind, the edification of, them learning at a deep fundamental level and then really elevating their consciousness so that they really understand the dynamics that are at play in the world. And, I see many people in the crypto community in general and in the wider freedom community in general that are not at all along the path regarding those dynamics. That's not to say that cannot change, but right now it's a paltry few. So, I'll never get on a plane again until the day I die. I don't, the motive, first of all, I think it's a disgrace what the TSA in this country is doing. And raping people's rights outright, and they don't care that they're doing it. Some of them relish it. Some of them, the kinds of immoral pieces of trash that do that job, actually revel and relish in the job that they do, basically humiliating people and taking their rights away. So I'm not interested in submitting myself to that ever again. I made one exception to attend Anarchapulco 2018, and I will never make another exception. Secondly, I hate the mode of plane travel. It disagrees with me. I get physically nauseous the entire time, and I just don't want to do it. I don't like the technology. I don't like the crowds. I don't like the air quality, and obviously other people put up with that to travel, but I'm not willing to do it because of the confluence of factors involved, namely having to forfeit my natural rights and to submit my body to a process that makes it ill. So I'm not getting on a plane for any reason. Get that out of your mind for any purpose, anywhere. I'm not getting on a plane to come to Europe. I'm not getting on a plane to go to Mexico. I'm not getting on a plane to go to Hawaii. I am limited to land or sea travel. I would travel on a boat, but I'm not getting in a plane ever again. Okay? When we have Tesla-inspired anti-gravitic technology and it's perfected, and there's a great air filtration system on a piece of technology like that, I'll hop on it and be over to Europe in a couple minutes. But I won't be getting in an aluminum tube that has toxic air constantly pumped through it and being treated like a piece of cattle. Okay, not going to do it. Okay? Other people make that decision for their reasons, and I'm making my decision for my reasons regarding that. So that's my answer about the, Steemit conference. I would love to be there. I'd love to see it, meet the people involved, but some other mode of travel other than plane travel would have to be arranged.
Well, the three of us from the State of Anarchy are planning on going, and we'd be more than happy to hop on a ship with you.
I would love it. I would love it. I love the water. I think it would be a great experience personally. I know other people would think, "Oh my God, that would be horrible," but that sounds like a great time to me. I love to travel by train too, So the one thing with that is like when you're doing presentations, it's hard to bring merchandise with you. That's the one thing that kind of has to be sacrificed when you're traveling long distances by train or boat. But I'm willing to do that. So to me, that sounds like a good travel experience.
As far as Anarchapulco, are you going to go back?
Well, there were some difficulties with people behind the scenes when I was trying to get a hold of my audio because my recording of my personal audio failed. And I made that public. I went public with it because I felt that I was being ignored. They've tried to basically say that wasn't the case. I feel that it was the case. So, there's a little bit of tension there, and I haven't been invited back for this year. I didn't expect to. If I personally, I think that could be resolved, but it's like I think there's still too much in the way of worrying about monetary compensation instead of getting the content out there to people. That's my primary concern. And because I had a technical problem and couldn't get my own audio recorded into my lapel microphone, I feel that someone, out of just due respect, quite honestly, quite frankly, should get the audio to me as quickly as possible when I very kindly asked for the audio so I could give it to a person who was volunteering their own time to help edit the video for me. And, they're on their time schedule. And they had this, block of time to work on editing a video for me voluntarily. And I don't think that, my work was respected to the degree that, the organizers gave me the audio in any kind of a timely fashion that I had been asking for it for. So, and, people may think that's unreasonable, and I don't think it's unreasonable personally. So if I got a heartfelt apology regarding that oversight and kind of what I perceive as being ignored, I'd be willing to let it go and come back, but I'm definitely not going to fly there. 100%.
Well, the State of Anarchy will hop on a train with you.
I think it would be a fun time.
Yeah.
I think train and bus travel would be fun.
Anarchapulco is a magical place because I wouldn't be here in this room with you right now if there was no conference. I
would do a remote interview too if they wanted to do that, but right now, like I said, the tension would have to be resolved by talking it out those issues. And I think that's why I'm going to have a personal contract that I make any potential people who host my presentations sign, not to potentially threaten them with litigation if they renege on the contract, but I would just make the contract public and show people what they agreed to and then went back on their word regarding, I think the court of public opinion is the most powerful court there is. So I am a very straightforward, and I feel I'm non-diva-ish. I'm easy to work with. I give a lot of leeway to people when I work with them. And I don't think what I asked for was unreasonable in any aspect. So, look, I'll just tell it like it is. Whoever wants to record anything about any of my presentations, I don't care. Record it. I don't even care if the host sells it. But if I have a problem getting my own audio for a presentation I want to make into a video, you can't hold back my audio from me. I was the deliverer, the creator and the deliverer of the presentation. I don't personally, honestly, I don't care who hosts any event. If I speak at an event, no one can hold back my audio from me that they recorded if I request it. That's the deal with recording me anywhere. Let's just put it that way. Let's just make this the permanent thing about anybody who records me. If you record me, I don't care what you do with it. But you can, if I ask you for the recording, you cannot hold back the recording from me if I need it. Okay? And I don't think that is because I could just say, you're not allowed to record me. Period. The end. Don't record my presentations. I don't give you permission. And if I see you filming, I'm not going to speak. That's what a lot of people do. So I'm being exceedingly reasonable by saying anybody can film me and do whatever they want with the footage. But if I know that you filmed it and I ask you, I say, I need the audio of my presentation, and you say, fuck you, then I'm going to make a policy to say nobody can ever record my presentations but me and use them in any way that I deliver anywhere. So that's the kind of person I am. Very reasonable until I'm given a reason to become extreme, and then I'm the most extreme person out there. Okay? So if we deal cordially and civilly, then I'm the most even-keeled, laid-back person you will ever meet in your life. But if people do things that I perceive as completely unreasonable and selfish, I'm going to become completely unreasonable. Okay? I treat people the way they treat me. Unless they give, I treat people with even keel unless they give me a reason not to treat them with even keel. Okay? That's how I operate in life. I don't start trouble with people. I try to be as respectful as possible. But as soon as someone shows me any kind of a level of disrespect, disdain, or indifference, then that's how I respond. I don't keep giving niceness to people when they show me a little bit of, disrespect. So, and I don't want to really get into that deeply, but that's generally where that situation lies. And and again, I'm very open-minded to resolving that because I don't hold grudges at all. And the last thing I want to do is hold grudges when we're already too divided. We need to be on the same page working together to achieve a state of true freedom and true anarchy. So the division has to stop, and I don't hold grudges, but at the same time, I need acknowledgement that something was done incorrectly, that could have been handled better. And I sent multiple emails. My assistant sent multiple emails that were basically ignored. Okay, Skype messages, etc. And we, tried to explain that this was going to become a situation regarding, me not getting my audio at Anarchapulco. So, like I said, I don't hold grudges, and if it was just, if I received an apology and, we make arrangements that stuff like that doesn't happen, and I just get my video and audio at the end of the night when I present, then everything is like it never happened. That's how I operate with people. If they say, okay, I made a mistake, I want to make good on it and make it right, like it never happened. I don't hold grudges. So that's where I'm at with that. But to just, get back to the main point here, I'm ready to take What on Earth is Happening live at a whole new level. And I have so much content, like I said, I probably wouldn't exhaust it for at least 5 years or more, okay? I need the help with the setup of the room, of the space, of the studio, the makeshift studio in home. You have to be local to Philadelphia. Get in touch with me. My email is mark@whatonearthishappening.com, or you can go to Facebook, Mark Passio, and then just search for Mark Passio. I think my Facebook name is What on Earth 93 altogether. So it's facebook.com/whatonearth93, and you'll get to my page. And you could message me there as well through Messenger. Either way you want to get in contact with me. If you're local and you have the skill set to do this, and you could dedicate 1 day a week, and the day that we've picked so far that works with Mike and my schedule is Sunday. So this show is probably going to go live on Sunday in the mid part of the afternoon, maybe 3 to 6 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, which I think would be a pretty good time. It's not so early that people are doing morning activities, and it's not so late like, most people eat dinner around after that time. So, I think that we could really make this work and have very high production values and pump out an incredible show that is absolutely sorely needed. You know, other people are telling me this, that they missed the show and that it's sorely needed. And I agree. With the content that I see out there and what people talk about, I absolutely agree. I need to get back on the air. So my appeal to all my listeners out there, all my viewers is, let's make this happen. Somehow, by hook or crook, let's make this happen. That's what we need to do. Because the people who are fighting us, the people who are oppressing us, the people who are taking our rights, they are on the same page, folks. They have the will to get done what they're going to get done. They have the will and they have the togetherness and they're on the same page, and that's why they are successful. The universe is going to respect the will of evil people. The universe is not going to not give the people who are all on the same page and operating their will together as one. It's not going to not give them what they want just because they're trying to accomplish dastardly things. That's not how the universe works. That's not how the laws of attraction work. I've talked about this almost ad infinitum in my podcast series. It's a concept I call dark care. The universe respects care. It respects when you care about something so much that you make it happen. Okay, that you put it into manifested reality because you cared so much to do it. The universe respects that, and it will get behind your effort. It will do the same thing for the people who have what I call dark care. That means they're doing an evil, sick, twisted thing, but it doesn't matter because they are focused with their whole intent on accomplishing that goal. And then they put their action behind it. They put their money where their mouth is, and they put their work where their mouth is. They put their will where their mouth is. They don't just pay lip service to it like the freedom community does. This is why we're getting our ass kicked by these people. Because we say we want freedom, we want prosperity, we want a better life for ourselves, we don't want slavery. But then when it comes time to actually saying, what are you doing to accomplish that in the actual manifested world? You know what the answer is? Crickets chirping in the background. That's the answer. A big fucking goose egg and crickets chirping in the background. Okay? To being honest. Just saying it the way that it is. And this is what this community believes is going to be good enough to get the goal of ending human slavery. And guess what, folks? It's not good enough by a long shot. Not good enough. The effort is not good enough. Sorry to break the news to you like that, just harshly and out in the open. Okay? The effort is not good enough. It needs to be ramped up exponentially. Our will is not united, it's not on the same page, and it's not enough. And everybody has an excuse. Everybody has an excuse. Okay? I'm too busy. I have this job. I have these kids. I have this family. The universe doesn't care about excuses. Okay? It doesn't make a difference why you were inactive in the face of tyranny and enslavement. The universe is not going to sit there with a clipboard and go, you know, this guy, he just let tyranny run rampant all over. Didn't do anything to stop it. Well, he had a 9-to-5 job, so he's excused. He's off the list. You know, I don't need to hold them accountable. The universe doesn't care why you did what you did. It only takes into account what you did or didn't do. And it doesn't look at excuses or justifications. This is just tired, old, lame excuses and justifications being used and trotted out over and over and over and over again. You got to realize how late the hour is and what we're really fucking up against. Okay? And the actual information that people need to hear is starting to be completely censored. And when it gets to that point, you know war is very close. You know, and people will say that's fear-mongering. Say whatever the fuck you want about what you think that is. I'm telling you, once free speech gets shut down, you're living in a closed society, and that society is going to implode and explode. It's going to implode on itself before it explodes into civil war. Okay? That's what's going to happen when the free flow of information is cut off. It's choked. And that's the point. We are right at the verge of that point. It's actively happening, actually. Okay? Because of the so-called communities in action, because they're sitting on their ass waiting for orders from somebody. Okay? Don't wait for orders from headquarters. Get involved. Okay? And if you can't get involved yourself, be a person who helps someone else in an ancillary capacity. That's not too much to ask for. Okay? It's a reasonable request. People will see this and say, how dare you ask for help for free? How about this? Fuck you if you think like that. How about that, motherfucker? Okay? You want me to get real raw? I'm going to get real raw. Okay? You've done shit, is what you've done. Somebody who says that. You've done balls. Exactly. Okay? So let's get real. All right? Somebody like that will run their yap. Yap and yap and yap. But you know what they've actually done? Squat. You ask them, show me one web page where you put one thing out. Show me one video you've made. You've done nothing. You've done shit is what you've done. Okay? So I have every right and am perfectly entitled to ask for help from human beings who say they benefit from my work. Okay? Every right and in total entitlement. Okay? And if you don't like that, go fuck yourself. How about that? Let's take it right to that extreme. Okay? So, it's a perfectly reasonable request that I am making. And anybody who can't see that has Down syndrome. Okay? That's how fucked up your brain is, boys and girls. If you can't see that a person doing free work for 11 years of their life to try to explain to humanity how they're fucking enslaved, okay, is asking for a modicum of help one day a week in the local area that they live in, and can't get that from a community that says that they want freedom and they want to be freed from slavery, it's not worth me ever saying another fucking word. If that's the response from the community I'm trying to help. Okay? That's how it really is, ladies and gentlemen. So you could say, oh, how dare he ask for this without money, without monetary compensation. That's the perfect mindset of a total fucking slave, is what that is. Because what that proves is that all someone does what they do for is money. That's their religion, that's their motivation. That's their only motivating factor for how they move their will into the world. And that's why they're enslaved. That's the very reason humanity is enslaved. The very reason. Because these people who are doing this to us, they're on the same page. They work like one mind. Like one mind. It could be 100,000 people involved, and it's as if there's one mind and one set of thoughts. That's how on the same page these people are. And that's why they're beating us horrifically. That's why there's no movement toward real freedom. That's why there's leftist authoritarianism and alt-right authoritarianism everywhere. People don't understand the philosophy of freedom. They don't understand the philosophy of self-ownership. And those who do are yapping and talking away and complaining about what other people do instead of getting involved, getting on the battlefield, and actually getting up off their ass and doing something. Okay? That's how it really is, folks. So, you know, I've gone personally raw once again, like I did in the interview with Ivan on Guy Next Door Speaks. I feel comfortable enough to do that with Pat and put this out on the air with my face on the video, because this is where we stand, and I don't think it is in any way an unreasonable request to ask for a basic modicum of help that I need to get What on Earth is Happening back on the air in a video format. Not unreasonable at all in the slightest bit. It's a perfectly reasonable request. If we can make it happen, I will go back live and you will see probably the best video format show that's ever been done on the internet regarding these topics. Regarding the topics of human slavery, mind control, the occult, human consciousness, and I will explore these issues deeper than I even did on the podcast, and I have a lot more material in the pipeline that nobody has seen. So this is my request. This is my appeal to the listening audience and the freedom community. We will see. Time will tell where it goes.